Pacha.
Millions of party people visit Ibiza every summer. So obviously we had to go and experience this wild island for ourselves. So it's fair to say that this cherry has become a bit of a symbol of the Ibiza nightlife scene. Since Pacha opened in 1973, it's gone from hippie hangout to one of the most famous super clubs in the world. And while the dance floors are now filled with iPhones and sunglasses, it's still managed to stay true to its roots. But how are they still selling out the venue after 50 years of club nights? This is when it all gets a bit mad. Me and Freddie actually got flown out to Pacha by the Pacha people to experience 2 of the club nights for ourselves. We also got exclusive video access to the club during the day to watch it transform from its Flower Power night on Monday to its Camel Fat residency night on Tuesday. But all good stories start somewhere, and ours was in Ibiza airport where we ran into Fatboy Slim.
We just touched down in Ibiza. What are you going to say? You're excited.
No, I literally feel so overexcited, it's ridiculous. We're been picked up by Pacha in a car to head to the hotel because we're going to go and check out their club tonight. First time in Ibiza for me, and
first time in Ibiza for me too.
Popping the cherry.
The Pacha cherry. The pop in the Pacha cherry. Come on.
We had this fancy car take us to El Hotel, which is Pacha's hotel right across the road from the nightclub. Cava on arrival, and just look at our rooms. Looking back on this footage, I just still can't believe our luck. We were absolutely spoiled. We definitely made the most of the free food and drink before putting on our best Ibiza fits and heading over to the club for the first time.
So we're here for the Flower Power night, which is basically the same as it would have been in the beginning. People our age, a little bit older, it's every bit of everything, isn't it?
They have their peace, love, and
we're the most underdressed.
When we're thinking about Pacha and this night has been able to go on for 50 years, I'm like, how? Do you know what I mean? For me, it's because the music changes every single night of the week.
70s, 80s, 90s, like you're guaranteed to know a tune at some point in the mix.
All the leaves
are the leaves.
We were harmonising.
And the sky is grey.
Right, so we got taken through this fancy VIP entrance, and we had access to the VIP area as well, but to be honest, the dance floor was popping off, so we headed down there. I didn't realise how much of a buzz it would be to go to a nightclub that was just playing old tunes, but me and Freddie were absolutely loving it. And everybody else there was as well, which made the whole experience so special. I can definitely see how this club night has stood the test of time. Now, a little disclaimer. The next footage is at 11 AM the next morning, and for some context, I think we went to bed around 6. The next morning, we are back at Pacha. Woo!
Shades on.
Shades on. In a big way.
For a reason.
Basically, we're going to go have a look inside because they're taking down all the stuff from Flower Power and setting up for Camel Fat tonight. So it's like 2 completely different vibes. And Will is going to show us around, so let's go meet him.
Let's go check it out. Woo!
How long does it take to go from like one night to the next?
So it's quite strategic because we have about 22 weeks in total, so it takes them between 4 to 6 hours each day depending on how much decoration. So yesterday we had Flower Power and today's Camel Fat, so it's quite heavy. So it takes about 6 hours. Obviously Flower Powers are very hippie, so we go from like having more like cassettes and vinyls going on. Then tonight's a lot more technological. Okay. So we kind of go down a more like kind of spacey kind of vibe. But yeah, each residency has a different style.
Yeah. Which one is the hardest to set up?
Flower Power. It's the one that transforms the club the most. So it's like a big change up. We want to try and make every night have its own identity. That's a big part of it.
Yeah.
But staying in the Pacha vibe, which is staying we like to go strong on decoration. We're quite different to other clubs in the way that we're kind of keeping the kind of old school vibe and kind of keep that iconic Pacha look. You know, these are all the original walls on the back. Yeah, it's you'll see you get a whole different sensation experience from one night to the next. That's what we really go for.
After our tour, we were so excited to see the Camel Fat night in action, but we were a bit tired after our big night, so we had to build up some energy. Look guys, it's a tough job, but somebody has to do it. It was also Freddie's birthday that day, so we had a lovely meal to celebrate. Imagine turning 23 in Ibiza, lucky. And before we knew it, it was time to head back across the road for a final time.
It's the night time, we're looking a bit fresher. We're finally ready for Camel Fat's night at Pacha. No shades this time.
No shades. We look much better. We're gonna go meet Jessica, who's the creative director of Pacha. She's gonna show us around this basically new nightclub. It's in its Camel Fat era.
Mate, let's go see it. Let's go see what's staying.
When you hear that someone like Camel Fat is gonna do a residency, how do you think about what that night is gonna look like?
We speak with the artists, like how do you envision your nights? They wanted it to be very colourful, fun. They wanted this mystery, and there's loads of like pieces like with mirrors that you are reflected on. So it's very mysterious, a bit spacey at the same time. But it's very much something that we do together. From our side at Pacha, we make sure that it's sexy, Mediterranean, and that it makes sense for Passion for Ibiza.
It feels so different from last night. It needs to be. Yeah. Every night is a different experience. We completely transform and change the club. Music. I mean, the clubbing is all about the senses. So the sound, the lighting, like the pieces. Yeah, everything is different to create this immersive experience.
After seeing Pacha nightclub go from night to day to night again, it's pretty obvious to us that the reason they've been able to keep going all this time is because they adapt to new crowds every night, keep it fresh. They're kind of like not afraid to try something new, which I rate.
It's kind of mad how that like Pacha cherry logo has been completely representative of the Ibiza club scene. Like, I want one of those in my bedroom, low key.
I want one like this all the time.
On your head. I could wear one as a
Yeah.
hat. But it's kind of down to them hosting one of the most creative, innovative parties that's going.
Big up Pacha, and thank you for bringing us.
Big ups, Pacha.
The crowd, the music, the decor, it was all so different on the second night, it literally felt like a different nightclub. Something I really noticed was that the Flower Power night was very Spanish speaking,
Oh, por favor.
whereas Camel Fat seemed more international.
So cheap.
Which really speaks to how nightlife on the island has transformed over the years. And it's cool that locals are still able to play a big part in certain nights, and that new nights are able to thrive just with a different kind of crowd. And just like that, the coolest trip of my life was over and it was time to come back to London. 50 years on, and it is safe to say that Pacha has earned its place in clubbing history. From residencies by some of the biggest names in dance music like Swedish House Mafia, David Guetta and Pete Tong, to attracting a never-ending list of A-list celebs like Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Moss and Penelope Cruz. Even Prince William and Kate Middleton have let their hair down in there. Between the venue, the music and the crowd that it pulls in, you can definitely see how Pacha has achieved icon status while still staying as relevant in 2023 as it was in 1973.